Welcome to the Good Stuff podcast, brought to you by From Creative Agency. Each episode we talk to good people doing good stuff. Hello, Jen, welcome to the By From podcast, the Good Stuff.
Good stuff.
All right, it's so lovely to have you here. We've been dying to get you on because you are everywhere doing everything and brilliant things continuously.
Being irritating.
Well, I'm glad that you've managed to squeeze in a bit of time because you are currently working on how many projects simultaneously?
Oh, a few.
Yeah.
But some overlap. So yes, that helps.
So I think I first got to know you guys probably through the Bridgnorth Music and Arts Festival. So should we maybe start there, because that's a really brilliant thing that you do, and it's got a really lovely story about how you brought it back and what you're trying to achieve with it. So can you tell us a little bit about
Yes, so we just felt it was really important to the town to have the festival. So we got involved in the Bridgnorth Music Festival when we first moved to Bridgnorth, about 2010, and there was quite a big group of volunteers running it, which is absolutely fantastic. And it was one of the reasons we actually moved to Bridgnorth. We thought if there's a town that could come together and put something on that is that engaging and exciting and fun, then we want to be a part of that. And then over the years, obviously, it changes and people have other things they have to do. And then with lockdown, when that happened, I think lots of people went and did lots of different things. And then we kind of thought maybe we could have a break and not work over the summer. That'd be really lovely. But then we started talking to people, and people were really missing the festival, and they missed that excitement and that thing to look forward to in the summer. And it's hugely beneficial to the town's economy at the end of the summer. So we just thought it just needs to come back, really. So it was really lovely to be able to bring it back last year in a smaller form. And that was, again, just lots of people coming together, lots of volunteers coming together to make it happen. And doing what we can, and then this year we're trying to bring it back to its full capacity again, which would be great.
It's also to try and give original artists a voice. It's very difficult as an original artist to find new audiences, because you play some gigs and your friends and your family come, and then after 6 or 7 of those, the family might have something else to do that night. It's about finding new audiences and exposing audiences to new what's going on the scene, what's coming up. And so when we do the festival on the main stages on the High Street and the Quayside and all those kind of things, they're always original artists. So they're as an example that they can come along. So it's a space they can come along, do their show. People are walking by and going, I really like that. And finding new fans, and all the pubs do covers and tributes and all that kind of stuff. But the main stages are about promoting and supporting grassroots original music.
I think that's what's so exciting about it, and to have you guys bringing those people here. How do you go about finding the right people? How kind of pulling together
We go to a lot of different events. So with the festival, one of the main things is we've just rebuilt the website, and our performers have always been able to register through that website, and we've had a really good response this year, I think, especially off the back of last year, which has been great. So we've just been able to kind of cherry pick people that we think
sort of sit down as a group, and then we go through the list, and we listen to who's original, because they have to say if they're original or covers. So we start with the original artists, and we sit down as a group and we listen to something. We ask them for YouTube clips, for Facebook links and everything. We sit down and listen to every single one.
But just trying to make sure that it's an eclectic mix. So it's not one style of music across on the main stage. It is quite varied. 45 minutes, you don't enjoy that, that's fine, it's not my cup of tea. You can come back 45 minutes later and find exactly what you've been looking for. And all the list that don't make it onto those main stages and all the covers, we then sort of circulate that list around all the pubs and the clubs, so that they've got the contact of everybody else who would like to play in the festival.
That's fantastic. What a privilege it must be to have all of these kind of original artists kind of asking for you to hear. Do you hear? Does it feel like a privilege, or does it feel sometimes a challenge?
There's some amazing things out there, and sometimes people don't make it just because maybe we've already got something too similar.
Right, yeah.
And so it's about trying to blow that up. So you just got too much of the same stuff. It's like, maybe, can you please reapply next year? And then you do that kind of stuff.
Do you find that music then goes in a bit of follows certain trends? So there seems to be more of certain genres in a specific year, or is that not the case?
It's quite varied. So we have more rock kind of stuff, because that just is generally what people as original artists will kind of start to go towards. But actually we have started to have a lot more different kind of styles, things that are much more 80s inspired. And
yeah, there's a lot more 80s inspired music.
Yeah.
There's a lot more shapes and.
I'm looking forward to seeing you throwing some of those shapes in August.
But it is trying to make sure that it's interesting for the audience and that it's representative across as well. It's trying to encourage all age groups and sort of males and females and different cultures and anyone to come and apply to it, so that we can ensure that the programming is interesting for the audience.
Yeah.
Because if it is too similar, it can become a little bit of a drain, and even if there could be a brilliant band, but if there are 3 bands similar before them, then they don't necessarily stand out. So you do need to,
It's very tough. And on the Saturday and the Castle Gardens, the bank holiday weekend, we're turning that much more into a community focused day. So we've got drum workshops.
Yes, it's not the workshop. So the
performance.
workshop we're keeping to the Quayside on the Monday, but we found out, because Ronnie's never really mentioned it before, but he has his drumming group that meets every Tuesday, and then they do performances once a term, as it were.
And our friend is genius, so we've been going to the performances.
And they're absolutely brilliant. So we've had a good old chat with them, and now that group is going to come and do a performance in the Castle Gardens.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's absolutely brilliant what they do.
Yeah.
They change, they move across different drums, they change rhythms. It's really great.
There was a male voice choir yesterday.
So we've got the male voice choir, and then we've got a few other people to kind of approach to kind of make it much more of a community event on the Saturday.
Oh, the drumming workshop was so fun.
It's great.
That's so
Absolutely
much fun. Yeah, absolutely. I just don't want to get off it. It's so good. You know, what he's able to do with people that never picked up.
From
Or
completely
done any
all age
class.
ages, from like 2-3-year-olds through to...
Absolutely.
We've had one lady a few years ago, she went in, if you tell that... Sure.
Oh yeah. She's from one of the local residential homes, and she got herself a new walker specifically so that she can make it down to the Quayside and to be part of every workshop. And she was watching for ages. I talked to her about it before, and then she wasn't getting involved, but she was standing watching. And then eventually it was like, "You've got to get involved. Come on!" And she did. She had a great time, didn't she?
It's those stories that is the reason that you do what you do. I'm guessing, for those moments where you can just see people of all ages and all abilities just coming together to celebrate music.
I mean, it is a huge amount of work, you won't lie, and it's all voluntary what we do with it, but it is that moment when you're putting it on and you can think, actually, it's the right thing to do, which is why we do it.
And we had an amazing new partner last year from
We did.
which was
You
amazing
made it
to
so
learn.
much
If you go onto our website, you'll see lots of pictures of By From with their balls.
It was mostly my dad, who's now like your biggest fan, so following you around on all of your gigs.
But it didn't make a huge difference. It was just having that having sort of you on site and actually to be around and jibbing up and just encouraging it all and
capturing
and getting all that data, because we tend to be backstage during the actual show, so we're terrible at capturing what we're doing. So
even threw a microphone at you and said,
We
"Louise,
did.
just the next band."
Never shy of a microphone, me. So, I take it you're still looking for volunteers to come and support
Always.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's one of those, because we need a huge amount of on-the-day volunteers. So you need a few volunteers who are year-round, sort of for the accounting side of things and for the general website and all that kind of stuff. But actually, what's generally needed is a lot of bodies for a few hours over that weekend, helping marshalling, because we have to shut the road down at certain places, and shaking buckets, because that makes a big impact on the finances.
Because it always
of the
completely
festival.
funded through sponsorship from people like yourselves and other businesses in the town, and the donations that we get. So at the moment, that's the only way it gets funded.
Right. So if people are interested in finding out more about volunteering on there.
There is a tab on the new website.
On the new website, yeah. And there's a different kind of roles that we want.
Brilliant.
We need volunteers.
If people can specify what they're
Exactly.
interested in supporting with during the course, and it's a brilliant thing to be part of, just to experience it and to see.
It's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It's joy.
Yeah.
It's just joy.
And it's a real team spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're tired at 7 o'clock and you're moving barriers, actually you look around and you got this really lovely team of people all helping and hanging out together.
So good for the town as well.
Yeah.
So good for the town. It brings. Do you get a sense that lots of people came from outside of the town last year?
We do get a lot of people, and you'd really missed it. You come from kind of more Wolverhampton, the Black Country
Scotland.
way, and Scotland. Some people.
Scotland,
They come every year. They come from Scotland. This is their main holiday. But they're back in.
That's brilliant. Wow, look what you're doing for that. Then that's amazing.
And so that's really nice to see them coming in and enjoying enjoying it, and like it's just so nice to walk, even in the evenings, because all our main stages are just 12 till 6, because there's only a certain amount of disruption that you can do for the town, obviously,
And
the local residents.
Clubs
And then it means that the business then goes into the venues within the town, and it's so great to walk around the town and see that all the pubs will be full, the restaurants will be full, the whole town just feels like it's buzzing and alive, and it just feels like we made a little difference.
All the pubs that were supporting last year with gigs, you just couldn't get into them. It was it was exciting.
It was,
frustrating. So there was a couple of bands I wanted to go see, and I was like, oh, there's literally no room at the inn.
You've got to get there early.
You really got to get there early.
Yeah.
No,
and for the pubs that really embrace it, like you said, you can tell the difference between the ones who go, and a lot of pubs are like getting into Schneider. So we've already booked our acts, and they're really ahead of the game because they know what a difference that makes to them as well on the weekend.
And everyone gets listed, so there's absolutely, we don't charge any of the pubs to have their events listed, because it is about just promoting everything that's happening in the town that weekend. So the programme that we put together is, regardless of whether they've sponsored with us or not, their information will go in, because actually it just shows people who are visiting everything that's going on across the whole town. And it's not just that, we have the poetry event at the library, so the Bridgnorth Writers Group has been absolutely brilliant. And I have to shout out to Colin Wells for taking that on, because he's just really ran with it, with Emma from Bridgnorth Library. So they run all those kind of events as well. And then we have the local art society always have their exhibition in St Leonard's Church, so that becomes part of it. So it's all those other events that really make it much broader.
Celebration.
It's like the idea is just put something on, do something, and we'll umbrella it and shout about it, and
That's fantastic. Is music kind of one of your main passions, isn't it?
It's how we met, isn't it? It's something that's been with us through our whole lives, and it's just something that, and I think more so, it always was part of what we did, but then actually over lockdown, when we came out the other side of it, it was actually, that was why we've suddenly become so passionate about really pushing it forward.
It's become a very clear decision of, actually, let's readjust and make it near for everything now. There's just
That's a powerful message for someone to take away, is actually find your passion. Actually, why isn't that what we offer? Because on. And what does that kind of passion look like? So you play together in a band, don't you?
That's because I've always played.
Yeah.
But Jen picked up the door bass just before lockdown.
Was it just before lockdown?
Yeah.
No way.
We went to the Upton Blues Festival, and then you saw.
Yeah, I saw a few bands at the Upton Blues Festival, and if we could ever get the Bridgnorth Festival to the level of the Upton Blues Festival, it'd be amazing. But that's a whole different thing. And I just saw a few bands, and everyone that stood out to me had a double bass in it. And there was one band in particular, and who had this double bass, and I just walked away and went, I'm actually a grown up. I could buy one of those. I can do that.
Make that decision for myself.
I don't have to ask anybody.
So I went and just got a dodgy second-hand double bass, and just to try it and just see. And you just find something, and it's just like, no, this is it.
It's like another part of your body. Yeah.
And then lockdown happened about 6 months later, and it was like, so I couldn't go to work, so I spent an awful lot of time just playing that.
And I wrote a week-long residential course for you.
Such a lovely thing to do. I'd signed up to there's this thing called Saw Fingers, and it's like a music camp in the Cotswolds. It's bluegrass music, but they do all different instruments, and you have kind of tuition throughout the day with professionals, and then you're thrown into scratch bands and jam sessions, and it's like an intensive. This is you live and breathe your instrument for that week. And I'd signed up to that, and then I was so excited about it, and then it got cancelled because of everything. So Wes was the lovely thing, which is he planned our own little Fingers to the Bone residential course. So for 5 days we had lectures that we had to
timetable. These are the songs you've got to learn this theory in this hour.
You've got 2 hours of solo practice time, and then we're going to come together and we're going to do that, and then this afternoon we're going to look at kind of the theory and get that music theory in there.
Watching this documentary at this time.
That is brilliant. Came out of 5 days of that, and you just felt like you'd really grounded yourself in the instrument. It was brilliant.
That is such a lovely thing.
It was great fun. I really want to do another one.
Yeah, that's so good.
We need to find the time to do it.
And tell us about the band that you're in, because you.
Yeah, so at the end of lockdown, at the end of lockdown, it was Jen's really massively progressed on the bass. But one thing she hasn't done is to play in front of anybody else but me. And so one of the things that you need to do as a musician generally is to get over the mistake and realise that that's already in the past. And it doesn't matter.
The music keeps playing.
It just keeps going forward, and you can just focus on what's in front of you, not what's already happened. It's very hard because it's very embarrassing, and you've got to get over that mental moment.
Brilliant metaphor for life in general, though.
Generally,
Yes.
exactly.
I think so,
It's already done.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
So we decided, like, okay, let's start a jam night.
Yeah.
So we started a jam night down at the Bassa, which we still do once a month.
Yeah, so every month, and if anyone can come down to
Because
that.
the idea was,
random
like,
instruments.
how many people are going to be in exactly the same position
Yeah.
now? At the end of lockdown, they've picked up the old hobby, but they've not shared that with anybody. It's
Yeah.
just been very solo. So,
Yeah.
and everybody sort of turned up, was all very embarrassed and everything. Now it's just like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's just having a long, let's get some chords up and that's all.
We just learn a song
it's
we've
just
never played before.
make
We
it
just
up
give
as
it
we
a
go
go.
along.
So good.
It's just about getting that confidence.
Yeah.
And then, after we did that for a little while, I then kind of phoned you up and went,
You signed me up to it.
and by the way, you're in a blues band.
So, okay.
What?
Yeah, so we just started rehearsing. So we rehearsed for a year, and then we started performing. But it's really fun. It's just
That's such a
it
great-
is just it's a blues covers band. We play old school blues, but it's really fun to do.
Just a bunch of friends hanging out and making noise.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we...
Joyful noise. Everything's joyful. Yes.
But I think people seem to like it, and we've got quite a few gigs.
Our dream was always like,
Brilliant.
because you wanted to learn the double bass from being at Upton Blues Festival.
Yeah.
The dream was like, I wonder if we could ever get a gig at Upton. And literally the first year of gigging, they gave us a gig at the Upton on the Monday.
And then this year you got
as we
two.
came off stage, they offered us 2 gigs for this year.
That is
So,
amazing.
Yeah, so we're really
That's
chuffed with
Brilliant.
that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I don't know how we're going to fit the bass of the tent, but we'll manage it.
I think I need to get a separate tent just
Yeah.
for the bass. That's so. You must be so excited that journey has
Yeah.
happened, and it's happened just. Yeah,
Well,
so
it's nice to be able
organic,
to share
just through
it.
shared passion.
I've
Yeah.
always been playing and being in different bands, but actually to be able to share that with Jen, that experience of being on stage
Yeah.
together and practicing together, it's a very different
That's really
to our
helped, yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, fantastic. And then that isn't enough. Then we come to ShireFolk. No, I just remember talking to you about ShireFolk. When was it been? 18 months ago?
Yeah, it would have been January last year.
January last year,
yeah.
right.
And that's just really, that just carries on from our passion for supporting original and grassroots music. So you both
Round it up.
yeah. I didn't think to do that. So well, you went to the Folk Expo.
So I went to the English Folk Expo, the Manchester Festival. I was asked to do a bit of work with one of the artists there.
Yeah.
And when I saw all the other artists who were around,
Yeah.
I was just a bit gobsmacked about the talent that was out there, and I couldn't understand why I not seen these people
Yeah.
before. And I spoke to you straight away, didn't I? And it's like, there seems to be something wrong in the area. Why are we not noticing these people? They're incredible.
Yeah.
We thought about it, and then we looked at what was going on, and we looked at the Kitchen Garden Cafe in Birmingham, which is a phenomenal venue,
brilliant.
absolutely beautiful. But it's intimate, and it's small, and it's not trying to sell 200 tickets. It's that sort of... What we've noticed is they tend to go free in a pub through to 200-seater venues around here.
Yeah.
In the whole of the Shires, there seems to be very few 30-seater, pay a
That
little
really
bit.
intimate
Yeah.
experience.
Which you get in cool cities and everything,
Yeah,
but
connecting with the
Yeah.
music.
you really feel that they're there, and when they're talking, they're looking straight at you and
Yeah,
having
yeah.
that moment, that shared experience.
And that moment where you've paid to come and see something new, so it's
Yeah.
not just free. So if it's free and above, in the nicest possible way, we have it with ours. People come in, they listen to a little bit, they'll chat, they'll kind of ignore you for a little bit and have a drink. But there's a big difference between coming and buying a ticket and sitting and listening to
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah.
Even if it's like £5, you pay £5 to
You're
see
committed
something.
to that
You're
music.
happy, yeah. So we then looked at that, and then we spoke to lots of different people and said, "How about this idea?" Including yourself, and go, "We've had this idea," because we're working with lots of different
Yeah.
people, and everybody seemed to say the same thing. "Oh my god, that sounds really good! I really would like to be involved with that and support that." So we wrote to the Arts Council, and they supported us, which is amazing. So that sort of started last September, where we bring over an artist on a 3-day tour to the region. So a lot of these artists who from September, October and November have already progressed so far in their careers that they're playing much larger venues.
Yes.
They've got albums
Yeah.
in the folk charts, and it's just
Yeah.
we're getting them just at that moment where they're
They're on their
on their
rise,
journey,
yeah.
and we're just great to be able to showcase them in the Shire. So we do a 3-day tour, Thursday night in Ludlow, a Friday night in Hereford, and then a Saturday night in Bridgnorth.
Brilliant.
It's just been absolutely amazing.
Has it surprised you just how immediate the
Yes.
connection has been to your vision?
I think so. I think we were really nervous about it, and with the first tour, we were kind of getting everything prepped, and we did everything that we possibly could. We did all our test runs, and we knew the artist was absolutely superb. And you're so kind of engrossed, like, please come and support this person because they're just amazing. But we just didn't quite expect that we'd be kind of selling out straight away. So especially in Bridgnorth, it's just been phenomenal, and the commitment of the audience. So what we've been asking people to do really is completely trust us and go, you may never have heard of this person, you might not have heard their music before, but if we say it's good, it's worth paying £10 to come out and see them. And it's a big risk for people, and to kind of completely trust it. And the fact that we've had so many people just go, yeah, we'll go with that, and we'll just get a ticket for every show, because it's a completely different night out. It's something that they wouldn't have had a chance to do alternative. You don't have to travel out, so that saves you a fortune. And they're just becoming this community of people who are just coming every month and having the most amazing time. Trying something different.
Yeah.
And then we went to the expo again this year.
Yeah. Well, November last year.
October last year. So I'd come to the end of working with one of the artists I was working with, so we went to his final show. And then we watched this band called The Breath, and me and you just literally like,
it was in New Chapter Hall in Manchester. It must have been like maybe 1,000 people in the audience or something like that. It was really big. I mean, to be fair, the amount of tech was phenomenal.
They'd done 140 speakers, surround sound show with them in the middle, this big screen. I mean, it was like a tech showcase as well.
Yeah, they were projecting, so they were performing, and the images were being projected with other images projecting over the top of them. And it's just the two of them with those incredible sounds.
This guitarist, Stu, was just like... And the lady...
Rachel Connolly. Rihanna Connolly, my mistake.
You just heard her voice, and you just... absolutely blown away by it. And then she gives this stick up and she starts playing the flute, and we were just like, they're amazing. Okay. And then the next day we just start thinking again. On the way home we had to come and pick the Kip up our dog from Kendall's on the way home, and we were early, so we went and had a coffee, and then over that hour we just said we should start to do some bigger shows.
Bearing in mind we didn't do 2 small ShireFolk.
No, we're only 2, so we're already laying the seeds for the next one. And so it's like, we should do some bigger shows. I would be amazing if we get the Breath. Yeah, okay, one day. And then the next morning, Fairport Convention's agent phoned me and went, any chance we can find us a gig somewhere? And we were like, you know what? Strangely enough.
That is amazing, the Fairport Convention.
And so we just put that on in Bridgnorth, and then that sort of worked so well. The town just completely embraced it. It was like, well, we should also run parallel some of the larger shows, because it also brings a lot more attention to the smaller shows as well. But also as a rural community, we should have access to the arts. Yeah. We should be allowed to, it's a...
I think the core of the whole thing is that we're really passionate about Bridgnorth. We absolutely love living here, and it's being part of our community and making sure that it's a place that we want to be and giving back to that. So we feel as passionate about anybody else that we get a bit fed up having to drive into Birmingham, or we have to drive to Bristol quite a lot to see shows, and it becomes quite expensive to do it. And why shouldn't those shows come to Bristol?
It's such a positive force for good.
So we just thought we should be bringing shows here, and we have the spaces, we can make it work.
So after the Fairport thing, we've kind of booked Whispering Bob Harris to do a talk in the church.
Yes,
which is going to be great.
And then
we saw him when Joel started talking about it, that sounds really interesting, we should do that.
And then we managed to book The Breath.
And when are they coming?
They are the 15th of November at the church. So
have you sold out yet?
No, not yet.
Right.
We're doing it as like a mini. It's like a
2-day
special. A 2-day special. So we have got Granny's Attic on the Thursday evening, and then The Breath on the Friday evening. And then we've just confirmed. So we had one of our touring artists from last month, Georgia Buchanan, went down and stormed. She's phenomenal.
Incredible. She's a harp player. All the songs are kind of about tales of the sea and witchcraft and just
It's all about
really
folklore and things like that, isn't it?
absolutely.
It's really mesmerising when she starts to sing, and we've just managed to confirm that Georgie will be the support act for the Breath as well, which
Wonderful.
was brilliant. So she'll be coming back.
tickets.
But yeah, and it's also working with the spaces that we have in town. So we were just chatting to the team at St Leonard's Church, and they just really want that space used more. It's a community space.
It's incredible.
Space as well.
You know, from
The
a venue
acoustics.
yeah, the acoustics are great. From a venue perspective, it's already got all there's chairs and seating out. You have to, and they just really want their space used. So when we started talking to them about possibly putting on shows there, they just embrace it wholeheartedly, and they're really excited. Yeah.
That's great.
And also working with Castle Hall as well, so
Yeah.
putting some stuff on at Castle Hall. So.
Breathing life back into that
Just,
space.
they're there. They're community. Well, the church is a space that you need to follow, and the other one's a community space, and the Castle Hall. So it's like
Yeah, and
well,
underused
yeah,
really, and undervalued, isn't it? I think as well. So
the
it's
council
so
have been
exciting.
great to work with.
They've been really supportive, and they've been on board with us from the start, and they're really on board with the festival.
Yeah.
I mean, we caused a lot of disruption to the town with the festival, but they let us do it. It's fine.
It's one of those things that we really loved about this town is that me and my friend Mark were walking down the high street one day about 7 years ago, and he just happened to walk under the town hall and went, "Oh, it'd be amazing if we could put a cinema under here." And I said, "Oh, that's a really good idea. Come with me." And we literally walked to the council office and went, "Can I stick a cinema under the town hall for a night, please?" And they went, "Yeah, there's the form." Fill that in. There you go. And it was done. And he went home and gone, "What have I signed myself to?" But the idea of doing that in a city, the red tape, your complications and everything that would have involved going to try and just do a community event. And then suddenly everybody got behind it. The local farmer said, "Would you like some hay bales as chairs?" And it was like, "Brilliant, let's do that. We can do hay bales as the local ad heat." Gave us some scaffolding to put the screen on.
And the cinema gave us the screens.
They had an old cinema screen. So everybody just sort of chipped in together and made it happen.
That's so good.
It's just great to live in a town where people will do that.
Yeah, and I think what's important as well is it's working in partnership with everyone across the town. It's not feeling like you're doing it completely on your own, or you're trying to step on anyone's toes. It's if you come up with an idea, it's get people involved and make sure the town's involved with it, because that way it'll be 100% better than when you could do it just on your own.
I absolutely love the way that you both have an idea and then within 24 hours the entire town seems to be backing you with whatever that creative idea is. So the cinema is a good example of that, but Harry Potter's birthday appears to be another like
That's
Jen and Wes like
What have we done?
bonanza. So you've definitely got to talk about that because it's so cool and bonkers, by the way, and bonkers.
Yeah. So
So, do you want to start?
well, you can go on in the
So a few years ago, I was working at Ludlow Assembly Rooms,
Yeah.
and they went into building works to wonderful new project to sort of make it more sustainable as a building. But I wanted to, as a programme, I wanted to still continue to do events, so do things in the community, so that the arts were still alive within the town. So I worked really close to with the library, and we said, well, why don't we do a Harry Potter event at the library? And that was like, oh great, we can get the Owlman down, and we can do wand making. And everybody got really behind it, and all the parents of the kids who got tickets were like, where's the adult version of this? So I was like, you know what, that's not the worst idea in the world. So we spoke to the Blue Boar across the road, and they were really on board with it. Why don't we do an adult evening where you buy a ticket and it comes with a meal, Harry Potter style food, one making, we'll do a green screen, and we'll have a sorting hat, and we'll get an actor with a radio mic talking. And that just sold out immediately, and we had to do a secondary night, and all the adults really went to town with their
the
costumes.
level was like
And then people would be stopping me in the street like 3 or 4 months before the event was going to happen and go, so I've been working on my costume, and they're showing pictures on their It's like adults like to play dressy up just as much as children.
And it was about authenticity, like the one making, nothing, it was all of sustainability. So like the one making, you had one of the library staff who lived on a small holding, so she'd gone round and collected bits of wood, prepared all the twigs, everything was hand labelled in the type of wood it was and what the properties of that wood was, and it was presented to the most beautiful standard, and you could just come in and you just felt completely immersed in the whole
It was just
event.
kind of like we hid a few hawks around the place, and it went really, really well. It was amazing. But that was 2019. And so just around Christmas time this year, I happened to bump into a lady who was at that on Bridgnorth High Street, and she said, "Oh, when are you going to do something like that in Bridgnorth?" And it's like, hey, yeah. And she said she could just the whole town. It was like, and then I just happened to walk from there to your shop, and by the time of walking from there to your shop, I was like, we need to do a Harry Potter event across the whole of town.
Because you can,
Everything looks like it.
Everything.
You're just walking down the street. Now that idea is planted, and you're walking down the street, and you're looking at the buildings and going, that just fits. And then the idea of, I can have adults dressed up, Harry Potter just running down the street with wands, and I just want to see that happen.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see that happen?
So, and we just mentioned it to a couple of people there and then, just in random conversation, and it just took off.
Instantly, they were said, "Oh, we've got a restaurant. We could do floating candles." And it's like,
we'll do a themed menu, especially for the day, and then.
Oh wow, this has just escalated. Like within an hour or two, it was like somebody else is already planning what they're going to do for it. And so
we've now got, I think, over 30 businesses are going to be taking part in it.
We've had a town meeting. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a meeting. We'll be announcing it all officially very, very soon.
Yeah.
So the idea is on the Harry Potter's birthday, which is a Wednesday in the summer holiday, 31st of July, the whole of Bridgnorth will come together and just celebrate Harry Potter's birthday, and it's
in an immersive
experience,
joyful
kind of way.
Again, it's the same idea in the sense we'll try to put on a few events. And just everybody can do something and tell us what you're doing. And so everybody's kind of running with it with their own places and what they can do, and they tell us, and we're going to umbrella it.
It's going to bring so many people into things. It's so fun.
It is one of those things where we could advertise it and a few people turn up. It could advertise it. It could be a lot of people. We have no idea, to be honest. We're just going to have to judge it as we go.
The juggernaut has travelled, taking on the businesses of Bridgnorth with it.
Everyone who's involved has told somebody who's told somebody.
Yeah.
So we're changed their holiday so they can go to Bridgnorth for that week.
Yeah.
Which is good. Again, great for the
town.
town.
Us, yeah.
But we're going to have lots of different events across the town. There's certain things that we're actually putting on as like official events, and then all the loads of businesses will be doing their own.
There's owls involved now, and the snakes are involved now.
Yes. Interacting with animals.
You've got a sorting hat, haven't you?
Yeah, we'll be doing a sorting hat. We're doing a trail around the whole town with Louise. Treasure hunt.
So good.
Some little special surprises and things across the whole town. So and we'll dress up because it's fun.
Again,
and,
it's just
why not?
All voluntary, just fun for the town. What else we're going to do on the Wednesday in the end of July? It's just a fun thing to do, making the place that we want to live in, and
people can volunteer to support you with that. I take it, so you need some help. We will be managing that.
Yes.
So. And how do people kind of speak to you about that?
Well, they can contact through the ShireFolk website, and then there will be a Harry Potter official page.
That's brilliant.
A Wizard's Birthday in Bridgnorth, I think, is our official title. Page that people can then go and find all the information.
ShireFolk.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, so exciting. You guys are amazing. It's like
we don't like people
positive energy, just like, we can do that, we can do that. And I think there's a real lesson in that, because there's such like lethargy around at the moment. Like you can really feel it. Like it's been raining a lot, and people are like, that's because of actually you're such a breath of fresh air to go, well, we've got a good idea. Why don't we just go and do it? Just make it happen and take everybody along with you. So it
is always that thing that you can complain that something's not going on or wish there was more happening, but if you don't make it happen yourself, then how can you bemoan the fact that it's not happening? And if you're not prepared to stand up and do something, then and so if you want it to happen, why not go and do it yourself?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, and I'm very excited about all the multiple things you've got going on. It's all.
Our most excited day over the last month is when we bought a massive whiteboard for the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
You just imagine it.
I can totally imagine.
You're just trying to keep track of all the different things. I'm like, we need a really big whiteboard.
We do both come from quite advanced project planning backgrounds, so it does really help. I think my background's both our backgrounds are in theatre and shows, and there is always that deadline, and then all the things you have to do to get to that deadline, which is your removable objects. So we're quite used to being able to break stuff down. Which is
why you can do multiple things at the same time, because you can see the pathway through. But brilliant. So Harry Potter's A Wizard's Birthday in Bridgnorth on the 31st.
Yes.
When's the next ShireFolk?
Is next week. It's the 9th, 10th and 11th of May. We've got Dowdy Matsiko. Absolutely phenomenal musician. So he's just been supporting Adam Buxton, he's absolutely on the few tours and stuff.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. We saw him at the expo,
and that was another one of those cheeky artists. We saw this perform in Manchester, and we thought it was absolutely brilliant and very different to anything that we've had before. The music's quite different, and but absolutely beautiful. And so we kind of just ran up, literally finished his set, went to the merch stand, and we just kind of ran up with a kind of cheeky because we just figured that they can only say no. He was just absolutely lovely, wasn't he? Yeah. We've just recorded a podcast with him, so we do a podcast with every performer that's coming through as well.
I definitely recommend people listen to it. It's so fun.
It's just a nice really chat with each of the artists. The only downside with Dowdy's is we chatted for an hour and 45 minutes. So
it's really
got to edit that thing or put it into 2 parts. I don't know.
I think I might 2 parts.
It's going to take a lot of editing.
And is it ShireFolk's monthly?
Monthly, and then so the current project is. We've got May, which is Daddy. We've got June, which is Katie Spencer. And Katie Spencer is just... Ralph McTally is just saying amazing things about her. She's in Guitarist magazine all the time.
Yeah.
She's absolutely phenomenal. And then we've got Rob Clamp in July. We've got August off. And we've got September to programme. And then that's the end of the current funding cycle.
Right.
So we have got applications into...
Yeah.
Because it's making such... I mean, the problem with the project, and it will always be this way, is that because you have 30 people at a show, the numbers never really match up. So it always needs support of some kind.
Yeah.
Because these are professional musicians and, we're putting on a big show. So it's about getting that ongoing support. So we have applications out, and it'd be lovely if we could carry on.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that then, definitely. Oh, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for inviting us.
Massive supporter of all the things that they
I just think you guys are amazing. So thank you for sparing some time in your ridiculously busy schedules to come, and we'll definitely be continuing supporting you this year. So
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.